Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled amidst towering trees and rolling hills, there lived a sweet little girl named Red Riding Hood. She was known for her vibrant red cloak, which her grandmother had lovingly made for her. Red Riding Hood cherished her grandmother deeply, and she often visited her in the nearby forest cottage, bringing her baskets filled with goodies. One sunny morning, Red Riding Hood's mother called her into the kitchen. "Little one," she said, "your grandmother isn't feeling well. I need you to take this basket of fresh bread, fruits, and a jar of honey to her. Be sure to stay on the path and don't talk to strangers." Red Riding Hood promised to heed her mother's warnings and set off on her journey. As she skipped along the winding forest path, she hummed a cheerful tune, enjoying the sights and sounds of nature around her. However, lurking in the shadows of the forest was a cunning wolf with gleaming eyes and a hungry belly. Spotting Red Riding Hood skipping through the woods, the wolf concocted a wicked plan to trick her and feast on both her and her grandmother. The wolf raced ahead, taking a shortcut to the grandmother's cottage. Upon reaching the cottage, he knocked on the door, pretending to be Red Riding Hood. "Who is it?" called out the grandmother, her voice weak with illness. "It's me, Red Riding Hood, grandmother," the wolf replied, disguising his growling voice to sound like the girl's. Believing the wolf's deception, the unsuspecting grandmother unlatched the door, and the wolf burst inside, devouring her in one gulp. With a satisfied grin, the wolf then donned the grandmother's nightcap and glasses, lying in wait for Red Riding Hood. Meanwhile, Red Riding Hood continued on her journey, picking wildflowers and chasing butterflies along the way. As she approached her grandmother's cottage, she noticed something peculiar about the figure waiting by the door. "Grandmother, what big ears you have!" she exclaimed, peering at the wolf disguised as her grandmother. "All the better to hear you with, my dear," the wolf replied, trying to maintain the facade. Red Riding Hood grew suspicious, but before she could question further, the wolf pounced, revealing his true intentions. With a fierce struggle, Red Riding Hood managed to escape from the wolf's grasp and dashed out of the cottage, screaming for help. Luckily, a passing woodsman heard her cries and rushed to her aid. With his trusty axe, the woodsman fought off the wolf, rescuing Red Riding Hood and her grandmother from harm. From that day forth, Red Riding Hood learned to be cautious of strangers and always stayed on the path when journeying through the forest. And so, with the wolf defeated and her grandmother safe once more, Red Riding Hood returned home, where she was greeted with hugs and kisses from her relieved mother. Though the forest held many dangers, Red Riding Hood's bravery and quick thinking had saved the day, ensuring that she and her loved ones could live happily ever after. As the seasons changed and years passed, Red Riding Hood grew into a wise and compassionate young woman. She often visited her grandmother in the forest cottage, bringing her warmth and joy. Together they shared stories by the fireplace, their laughter echoing through the woods. The wolf, defeated but not destroyed, slunk back into the shadows, nursing his wounds and plotting his next scheme. But Red Riding Hood remained vigilant, her courage shining like a beacon in the darkness. With each passing day, she continued to roam the forest paths, spreading kindness and light wherever she went. And so the tale of Little Red Riding Hood became legend in the village, a timeless reminder of bravery, love, and the enduring power of good over evil. And though the woods may still hold secrets and dangers untold, Red Riding Hood's spirit lived on, a symbol of hope and resilience for generations to come.